CBS News correspondent Whit Johnson for us at the Pentagon this morning. Whit, thank you. One Muslim scholar is sharply critical of the planned Islamic Community Center and Prayer Room near Ground Zero. Dr. M. Judy Jasser is president of the Islamic Forum for Democracy in Phoenix. Dr. Jasser, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let me ask you, if you heard a second ago in Elaine Quijano's piece, there are two competing rallies at Ground Zero today, adding controversy to this sacred day. How do you feel that this situation can be calmed, if at all?
Yeah, I think today is especially a day as we remember and reflect upon 9/11 and looking over that pit of devastation there and feeling that on today we look through that lens as Americans, not as a Muslim, not as of any faith. I don't look through this lens of trying to promote Islam. It's about fighting the forces that cause this. And I think if we're able to unite under that, that's why 71% of Americans are against this. It's not because they don't want mosques there. There's even other mosques closer. Many of us have built over 2,000 mosques in the United States with very little problem. But I think what unites us is the freedoms and liberties that our Constitution gives us, and it's time for Muslims to look less about promoting ourselves, less about victimology, and more about feeling the pain of the families of 9/11 and understanding what we have to do to repair the house of Islam.
You're a Muslim. You've seen this controversy. Do you feel that since 9/11 America has become Islamophobic, so to speak?
I'll have to tell you, absolutely not. I do think that we're getting a crash course on Islam, and I think we Muslims have to do more work to separate spiritual Islam of the faith that we love from political Islam that creates the Nidal Hassans, the Faisal Shahzads, and has a continuum from moderate to radical. That's what we have to do to separate that, and there's some confusion there, understandably, because it's not a binary equation of good Muslim nonviolent, bad Muslim violent. There's a continuum that's confusing, but that is some part of the educational process, part of the war of ideas that we have to fight within. This isn't a fight between Islam and Christianity or Islam and the West. It's a fight within the house of Islam that we need to focus in and not just focus on victimology.
Can I ask you your thoughts on why there was such a visceral reaction to Pastor Jones?
Well, because book burning has never been anything that's been followed by anything good in history. Book burning is something that is clearly against the Constitution and the First Amendment and shows a complete disrespect. And he's a speck of humanity of just 30 congregants and doesn't represent America. But yet he feeds into the Islamist narrative overseas across the world that America's against Islam, America's against Muslims. So he used it to have his 15 minutes of fame, and it fed into that narrative.
All right. Dr. Judy Jasser, thank you very much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now here's Rebecca with this morning's other top story.
Thank you, Chris.